to protect them, their parents and guardians. These acts often hidden behind closed doors or normalized in some communities leave scars that last a lifetime. It's time to confront this violence and giving children the safety, dignity, and love they deserve. The program is Women and Leadership on Canal International. Empowering women and girls is not just about fairness, it's about unlocking the full potential of their society. When women rise, communities equally strive. Educated, confident, and equipped girls become leaders, change makers, and nation builders. If you have missed any of our past editions, you can go to your YouTube page. You just type Canal International, you type the thematic of the day, you type Women and Leadership, and you can watch all our past editions. And let the conversation begin just after the jingle. And it's time for us to know our guests. Like in our past editions, we also always invite the right women to diagnose the thematic of the day, and that's what we've done today. I want to begin with the person that is close to my right. She's called Francisca Webster. She is a family marriage counselor. She's wearing all the caskets. We'll get to know more about her. Hello, Francisca. How are you doing?
Maureen, I'm doing very okay. Thank you so much for inviting us to scatter the abuse, because it has been the talk of the town.
All right. Now, being a family and marriage counselor, what are those things you counsel women on daily? What are those problems that women bring to you and you counsel them daily?
It is still so fresh in my mind that there was a lady that was married with child. That is her biological child. And she took this child to the man she called husband. And then this man had his own child, son, that he was also bringing to the marriage, where they were going to start with a blended family. And then this particular so-called stepson continually abused the female, the daughter of this woman that I had to counsel. And to my greatest surprise, the father to the boy was always, supporting the boy, that my son cannot do such acts. And Maureen, did you know this girl passed away?
That's quite pathetic, because a lot of our children do a lot of funny things. They have funny attitudes, but some parents don't even know who their children is. And when they tell them that this is what your child does, this is the attitude of the child, they refuse, they deny it, and the child continues with that same attitude, and in life they are caught up in life. We'll talk about that since we're talking about abuse. And we equally have Pastor Reverend Mrs. Anyere Akwi Aflo. I almost made that mistake, but I won't make that. She is a pastor or reverend with the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, but I'd like her to tell us more about her pastoral job. Hello, Reverend. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Maureen, and my fellow panelists, mothers, you're welcome. It's with utmost joy and a privilege to be here again to talk about this very sad situation where our children are being beaten and battered and assaulted on a daily basis, and some parents close their eyes to it. As a pastor, I'm also a counselor, and I used to have some cases of battery and assault, and I try my utmost best to see that I counsel them, I pray with them, I walk with them, because it's an entire journey.
What are those problems that women in church, because I know as a reverend, they believe in you, they believe you can solve their problems, and they think that if they come to you, their problems or their sufferings will be gone. What are those problems that they bring to you? I just want you to quote one or two of them.
Okay,
not too long.
The problems are manifold. The thing is, it's mostly about marital issues, and in those marital issues, which is the canopy, it is being covered with children who are wayward, children who are stubborn, children who are struggling with drugs. And when they come like that, it's not just prayers. Prayers doesn't suffice. You must give them practical advice from the Bible and from daily living to aid in that situation. Especially when it comes with wayward children, it is either because of the environment where the child has been groomed. You know, when a child grows in an environment where he or she is influenced by peers, that tendency is that they will pull towards the wrong. And parents when they come, I used to advise them that it's not always about beating. Sometimes talk to the children gently, advise them so that the children too can know that you have gentility in you and not only hostility. All right, that's what we'll be talking here today, because we are trying to diagnose the problems that are linking children to abuse and parental guide. How should parents bring up their children so that they don't abuse the children? Because I mean, children are there to give us headache, but there's a way out, right? Reverend, always. We equally have a Metro Chakunte. When I call her name, I feel that fire in me, because she's a barrister that has been on fighting daily for over 25 years in that job, and she has been doing a lot for women, especially when it has to do with violence. Metro, comment tu vas?
Je vais bien, Madame Marie.
Et pour dire que c'est l'une des instants que tu es au studio, parce que tu es toujours au tribunal en train de lutter pour la femme, la cause de la femme. Now, what is the most recent case you have at this moment?
Le cas oui. Le cas qui me brûle le cœur en ce moment concerne une maman qui a 5 enfants, parmi lesquels un qui est autiste. Et le tribunal, l'homme n'en voulait plus, la saisir le tribunal, et la garde des 5 enfants a été confiée à l'homme. L'homme qui n'est pas là, qui est tout le temps en train de partir. Et cette maman pleure, pas pour tous les 5 enfants, mais beaucoup plus pour l'enfant qui est autiste. Parce qu'elle seule comprend le langage de l'enfant. Elle a fait une formation spéciale pour savoir que quand l'enfant fait ça, il veut faire caca. Quand il fait ceci, il veut boire de l'eau. Cet enfant est abandonné à lui-même, et le danger, c'est que les autres ne comprennent pas son langage. Ils sont tout le temps en train de taper sur eux. Donc voilà ce qui me déchire le cœur en ce moment.
Et qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire pour ce cas?
On va faire appel contre cette décision, espérant qu'à la cour d'appel, on va changer la décision. Mais entre-temps, les enfants sont exposés à toutes les intempéries.
Okay. Et ce n'est pas le seul cas. We have a lot of women that are going through what you're saying right now. And we cannot be silent about it.
Non, pas du tout. Il faut que ça change, que la justice fasse son travail.
And you're also in charge of the Bilingualism Commission, right?
Yes.
You're the head. Tell me about that. Just briefly.
What can I say? By the grace of God, I am one of the 15 persons that the government chose to go and sensibilize about peace, because at this period, we have to take care. Each of us must work to maintain peace in our country.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we equally have Etonde, Madame Etonde, let me call her that way. She has an association called Action Santé Éducation. But I will first of all start by asking, how are you doing? Comment tu vas?
Je vais très bien, merci.
C'est pas ta souris, on comprend que tu vas bien. Même quand on a des problèmes en tant que femme, on essaye de sourire, right?
Oui, le sourire est un élément important, surtout dans la santé mentale, parce que ça nous donne derrière l'impression qu'on va bien. Quand on est dans une situation extrêmement difficile, une fois qu'on sourit, ça commence à nous attraper.
Et quelles sont tes astuces? Qu'est-ce qui te fait quand tu as des problèmes, tu laisses tout sourire? Parce qu'il y a d'autres qui ne connaissent pas même mettre ces problèmes derrière eux. Hein?
Oui. J'essaye de penser à ce qui est négatif. En tant que spécialiste en santé mentale, je sais qu'il faut remplacer les idées négatives par les idées positives. Okay. Or, le sourire nous fait penser à quelque chose de positif, et puis on discipline le cerveau à travers ça.
Thank you so much, because sometimes we have problems, we think we are the only ones who have problems. And as women too, women are stressed up a lot.
Yes.
Et c'est la rentrée, les femmes sont stressées avec les enfants. A lot of children are stressed up. They get up at 4 a.m. They have to cook food for the kids. So the stress is at every level. But today we're talking about child abuse, and I want us to watch this report of little Lucy that was chained by her guardians, let me say her half-sister, because we actually did a report, went to the home to actually investigate and know what was happening with that case. Let's watch. We'll be right back just after the jingle. The distressing scene reveals a young girl, nearly 7 years old, bound with iron chains by her half-sister. A video capturing the child's rescue rapidly circulating on social media, eliciting widespread condemnation.
Elle est partie, elle avait les enfants du quartier encore de ferrailler. Elle est aussi partie ferrailler avec les enfants, ramasser les choses dans la poubelle, ferrailler avec eux. Et donc, elle a envoyé depuis à 14 h, il se faisait à 16 h, elle ne rentre pas. Les enfants dont se fâchent et disent que Févo, toi tu n'as pas peur, ta mère peut rentrer à la maison, elle ne te trouve pas. Il faut rentrer, il se fait à tard. Depuis à 14 h que tu es sorti, il se fait à 16 h, il paye à 17 h. Ma soeur refuse de rentrer, elle dit qu'elle ne rentre pas, qu'elle va continuer de ferrailler. Les enfants l'ont forcé, elle a refusé. Parce qu'il s'est passé, les enfants disent que donc, comment te supplie que rentre à la maison, tu ne veux pas, non. On est donc parti à la maison, ta mère là-bas, elle va bien. Dans le mensonge, non. En voyant peut-être en mentant comme ça, là, elle va au moins se rentrer, non. Les enfants ont menti que. Les enfants ont menti que ma mère est à la maison, que ma mère l'attendait, que ma mère va la fouetter, qu'ils ont dit à ma mère qu'elle est en train de ferrailler. Comme ma mère n'a pas éduqué ses enfants à ramasser dans la poubelle. Donc ma soeur, avec la peur, ma soeur dit que c'est vrai, les enfants disent que c'est la vérité.
What could have led to such cruelty against Ali Mercy Ahone by her own sister? We trace the facts to the 16th District Police Station in Douala 3, where the investigation is ongoing. The story unfolds in a poorly maintained house where the abuse allegedly occurred.
Elle était ligotée là-bas dans la chambre de son père. Elle pleurait, j'ai fait, viens me donner la nourriture, viens me donner l'eau. Faut dire que c'est pas moi qui t'attachais. Faut dire que si elle avait la clé, elle devait la détacher, mais elle n'a pas la clé, ça m'était parti avec. Et tout me dit que un peu guetter dans la chambre de son père. Maintenant, il voit merci, comment elle a attaché. Il ne voit pas ça. Après, maintenant, il comprend que faire pardon, viens un peu me donner le. Maintenant, il voit comment faire lui donne l'eau avec le coussin. Mais là, comment ça pleure. Maintenant, il faut dire que si c'était moi qui t'avais attaché, il devait te détacher. Quand maman va rentrer, elle va lui supplier qu'elle me donne la clé, on te détache. Pardon, ne pleure plus. Maintenant, elle a donné lui à faire.
Tied up by Rochelle Munsi, the young victim spent Monday night in chains. Her cries of pain alerted the neighbors.
C'est une habitude, la dame a l'habitude de faire ça. Surtout sa fille là. Moi-même, elle me jure, moi-même, j'ai sauvé sa fille, c'est qu'elle avait attaché en frottant juste le fait à repasser, chauffer pour repasser la petite fille. C'est moi qui est venu supplier avant qu'elle a laissé. Mais la petite fille s'était bien torturée par rapport à sa mère. Et puis, donc je sais que la scène là, surtout la petite fille là n'est pas à l'aise, je vous dis. Donc tu vois les jours que la bouche est tordue, tu vois un jour que ses pieds sont, tu vois comme non à tout, donc je suis tellement à bout.
Je lui rencontre là-bas. La petite là, elle vient là-bas en bas. Je vois sur le banc, la joue est de ce côté. Enflée comme ça, comme si elle a le plus d'un. Elle demande que mais tu as eu quoi? Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? Elle me dit que c'est ma mère qui m'a tapé comme ça. Je dis que mais comment ta mère peut te taper comme ça? Parfois elle vient et me dit que moi j'ai faim. Je dis que comment ça tu as faim? Tu n'as pas mangé? Elle dit oui. Si j'ai mangé, je lui donne. La dernière fois, je vois un matin, 6 h, je suis sortie. Je lui vois là-bas, je dis que tu cherches quoi? Elle dit qu'elle cherche la serpillère. Je dis que la serpillère pour faire quoi? Elle dit que sa mère veut la taper parce qu'elle a agité la serpillère. Je dis que mais n'importe quel vêtement qui est déjà usé, on peut faire la serpillère avec. Elle me dit que non, je dis que pas à la maison, elle dit que si elle ne trouve pas la serpillère là, sa mère va lui taper. Elle est calée là-bas. Après quand j'ai vu son papa arriver, j'ai dit à son père que mais comment l'enfant fuit la maison, on dit qu'on veut lui taper pour la serpillère. Est-ce qu'on ne peut pas faire la serpillère avec n'importe quel vêtement? Son père me dit que non, la petite fille, elle est trop têtue,
Neighbors claim this isn't the first incident. They say little Aline Mercy has often suffered violent abuse at the hands of her half-sister.
L'enfant là, c'est chaque fois qu'on lui tape. Souvent quand il lui croise en route, elle est en train de pleurer. Il dit Simon, mamie, tu pleures quoi? Elle dit comment lui taper? Parce qu'elle a 5 ans est tombée. Soit les condiments sont versés, on lui tape. On va lui taper. On lui tape presque tous les enfants du quartier s'y connaissent. C'est pour ça que quand elle fait les enfants, parce qu'elle ne veut pas dire la vérité, elle met la peur parce qu'on lui tape.
Authorities are currently investigating the circumstances surrounding this case. The regional delegation of Women Empowerment and the Family speaks out.
C'est un acte à déplorer, c'est vraiment choquant. Et vous savez que nous ne travaillons pas seuls. Nous travaillons avec un système de référencement. Vous voyez que l'enfant a été maltraité, vous avez eu des coups de violence. Et vous voyez qu'il y a déjà un pan qui est en jeu, c'est-à-dire que vers le ministère de la Santé. Alors, on référence d'abord au niveau de la santé parce qu'il faut qu'elle soit soigner. Et maintenant, nous allons travailler de façon transversale avec d'autres administrations. Le MIMPROF seul ne peut pas vous dire qu'il vous rassurer à 100% de ce qu'il va faire. Nous travaillons avec le ministère Santé, le ministère des Affaires sociales, les forces de l'ordre. Déjà, elle est au commissariat. Donc voilà déjà un autre pan. Donc nous travaillons selon un système de référencement. Donc d'ici quelques temps, nous allons trouver ensemble, de façon collégiale, qu'est-ce qu'il y a lieu de faire par rapport à cet enfant.
The incident has prompted calls for increased awareness and intervention in cases of domestic abuse, particularly those involving minors. As investigation continues, the community grapples with the shock of such cruelty inflicted upon a child by the family member. This case underscores the urgent need for vigilance and action against domestic abuse. Association in Children's Rights has cried out. Welcome back. I can see the faces of my the women here with me in the studio. I'll start with you, Francisca. How does it feel watching that after watching the video? What's your first reaction? Let me get to Reverend. Reverend, what's your reaction after watching that video?
I'm just feeling chills from my head to my toes. It's so deplorable, and no matter what the child does, it should not get to this level. I really put up, even a shrine we want to go sell for market, you know, tie and that kind way for like 24 hours or more is I don't even know what to say.
All right.
It gets to the point where you tie and retie and use chains and double. Jesus Christ.
I'll get back to Francisca. She's in tears after watching that a video. It's child abuse. Mercy is 7-year-old at Kobong in Douala. It happened in Douala, Cameroon. Your reaction?
I told you the other day that I was going to be emotional because I know myself as a mother that I am. I go out there, I see how women struggle, they fast, they pray, they go to mountains, they visit from one prophet to the other, they go to pastors, they sleep outside at night because they are looking for the fruit of the womb. And then you see a family, so-called blended families. You see a child that has been molested, a child that has been, it is not the first time, Maureen, as you could hear the neighbors, they said it was not the first time. That has been going on for a very long period of time. So you can begin to imagine what that child, the torture, the hurt. What is child abuse? Child abuse is a situation where a child is hurt. You are doing something to a child that is hurting. It could be physically, it could be emotionally, it could be psychologically. But looking at this child has faced almost all the phases of child abuse. She is physically abused, she is psychologically, she is traumatized. That child, if you want to look at the heart of that child, it's going to take, I don't know, counsel sessions. She even need a therapist. She need all it can take for that child to heal from the within before you ever tell her she will be loved, she will feel wanted, she will feel accommodated, she will feel like she's also a child. Maureen. All right.
We'll come back to you, Francisca. I want you to put yourself together. Yeah. I want to get to Metro Chakunte. Such cases, is it a growing phenomenon in Cameroon, in our society, Metro?
Oui, c'est un phénomène qui est récurrent, mais je dois préciser que ce que nous venons de voir là ne doit pas s'appeler violence sur l'enfant. Non, ce n'est pas une violence ordinaire. Ça s'assimile à ce que nous appelons en français torture. La torture est plus particulièrement un traitement inhumain, cruel et dégradant. C'est ce que cet enfant a eu. C'est pas la torture.
Il y a beaucoup d'enfants qui sont, a lot of children that went through this, and but people are yet to denounce that, right?
Oui. Et c'est dommage que les gens ne dénoncent pas. Mais je dois préciser que ce que nous vivons au quotidien n'atteint pas ce genre-ci. Ça là, c'est la première fois que je vis une chose pareille. Parce que pour faire ça, sauf si cette maman est malade mentale, et je doute fort qu'un malade mental puisse réunir et les chaînes et les cordes et tout ça pour attacher la même personne. Ça relève purement et simplement de la sorcellerie.
Donc tu penses que you think it's not a normal mother?
Non, c'est pas normal. C'est elle a atteint un degré de méchanceté qui l'éloigne d'un être normal et la rapproche de quelqu'un qui doit pratiquer la sorcellerie. À 7 ans, qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire? Même un animal qu'on veut tuer, est-ce qu'on l'attache comme ça?
All right, Madame Etonde, you have an association that defends the rights of children. In your association, how many of such cases do you record monthly, yearly, or daily?
Mais nous faisons déjà beaucoup dans la prévention, l'information, l'éducation, la sensibilisation. Si bien que on n'a pas
des statistiques.
Oui, on n'a pas beaucoup de cas parce que on va naturellement vers les gens, on va naturellement vers les médias pour sensibiliser. Donc, rares sont des cas qui viennent vers nous jusque-là. Et il faut dire que, comme M. Chakounte a dit, ça c'est un cas exceptionnel. C'est-à-dire, on ne voit pas souvent ce genre de violence qui dénote le degré de souffrance même que la personne qui inflige à cet enfant a.
Right.
Oui, parce que ça c'est un problème profond. C'est-à-dire, il faut aller au-delà de ce qui s'est passé, aller regarder le fond du problème.
Oui.
Le problème se trouve dans le fond. C'est une famille qui a beaucoup de problèmes dans laquelle tout le monde est dépassé.
Okay, and in such cases you have, in this case for example, I think neighbors denounce. Maybe we'll have cases where the abuse is not at that level, we can say that there's abuse, right?
Yes, there's abuse.
Let's talk about the growing child abuse in society. How do you analyze that, Reverend?
Thank you, Maureen. When we want to analyze the growth of child abuse in our society, especially in Cameroon, you have to understand that the statistics may not really be out there because most of the parents who witness it or who go through it by way of their children, they are afraid to come up to social centers where they can report such incidences. And so there is a lot of problems because of that. And like Sister said, child abuse is not just physical, it's psychologically. You cannot really aptly assess that a child is going through psychological trauma, except you really examine the child, counsel the child, and then you see lack of self-esteem, you see other attributes of trauma.
I'm asking this question because I want mothers out there to know what child abuse is all about. You might be doing it, but you don't know you are abusing a child out there. So I want us to really define what child abuse is. The different punishments. At what level do you, so I was as really bad?
I was trying to first of all give this assessment before I go there. Now, what is child abuse? Child abuse is the physical, psychological, sexual, and neglect of a child by parents or co-parents or caregivers, and it exposes them to vulnerabilities, battery, assault, torture, and it has to do with the environment where they interact with and also around their peers. Now, when we have seen this definition, the best way I can try to define it, you discover that child abuse does not only have to do with violence and torture. It has to do with emotional. And when it comes to emotion, you cannot assess. That's what I was trying to say, Sister Mori. When you want to assess the emotional and the psychological part of child abuse, you must get close to the child as a counselor or somebody who is taking care of the child to remove the child from that state, to know exactly what that child is going through. Because psychologically, the child has a tendency of not feeling enough. Also, not just that, the child downgrades his or herself, and then such children also indulge a lot in high crime wave. Now, apart from that, when it comes to this one that is so silent, but it is so disgraceful and painful, it is sexual abuse. With sexual abuse, most often, the assailants will tell the child that close your mouth. If you report, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to do this. They threaten them. So such children, you see them, they become traumatized. And how can you know that they are sexually abused? They always have nightmares. They shiver. Before you even talk to them, they start to shiver. Yes. And then you discover that with this, if you do not get to the root, they will not tell you that this is what is happening. They will not only have nightmares. When such children grow, they become traumatized to the extent that to have social bonds is very difficult. And it will not only end there. You discover that at the end of the day, such children, they don't easily interact with other children. And they feel so low. So especially with sexual abuse, even though this is not part of it.
Yeah, it's not part of it.
It is one of the canker worms in our society because it goes with threats. Now, it mostly happens, unfortunately, in the family. Either an older brother, an uncle, an older adolescent threatens in the same house, threatens the child. How? Showing your genitals to the child, showing pornography to the child, threatening the child or touching the child's genitals. And I cannot say without express permission because you do not have the right to touch. And that's why parents used to tell their children, when somebody starts to call you my woman, my massa, be very careful. Strangers, you know, when we were growing, people had this tendency of coming, my woman, now how? Then they touch your breast, they pinch you, and you may giggle without knowing that that is wrong. And that is why even today, teachers are teaching my breast, my this. They name all the parts and tell children that people should not touch. I'm dwelling on this, Sister Maureen, because with sexual abuse, it is always hidden. And before people come up, you need to spur them a lot. You need to push them before they will open up that this is what is happening. And most of such children, when it comes even to their marriages in future, it doesn't go because everything to them is trauma. Everything is preordained, which is not supposed to be so.
All right, I want Francisca, tell me a little bit what mothers do that they don't really know they're abusing a child, but they're doing it ignorantly.
Okay, Maureen.
Because sometimes just insult a child, you're traumatized. That's not the child.
Yes.
I mean, tell us a little bit.
I was going to come to assaults. You know, there are some hurtful words that you can use towards a child, you know, unknowingly. Like you rightly said, parents sometimes get so angry and they use some words to children, not knowing that those words are hurtful. Those words make them to feel unwanted, unloved. Meanwhile, there are some words that I think were not supposed to be used to children. Like, you will not make it in life. If you don't do this thing, you'll be some ballot picking. Look at you. You know, when you begin to talk like that to a child, we talk about emotional trauma. She begins to become demoralized emotionally. And it takes just you again to go close to that same child to find out why the child. If a child has a problem, you know, you need to treat that child with love and care in such a way that they should feel free to say things without being afraid. Now, when you begin to insult, throw some those insults to a child,
and slangs too,
you know, there are even some children unknowingly. We're just talking about insulting a child. There are also some aggressions that we parents, we do transfer to children. You understand? Like maybe, for example, you have a misunderstanding with your spouse, and then while walking out, you just bump into your child. It was just a very good morning, just to say good morning, my daughter. How was your night? I hope you slept well. And then because you're coming out from a terrible situation with your spouse, then you just transfer this aggression to that innocent child. Now wait, see, let me pass. Why you just start talking, you shouting. Like at first I used to shout, and then at times I was like, I'm the one putting the hurt in me. And my children are not even aware that it is my own problem that is making me react this way.
All right, Metro Chakunte, why is it that child abuse is still common despite the existing laws? Les lois sont là. Pourquoi ça persiste?
Oui. Avant de répondre à cette question, je voudrais dire à Maman Pasto qu'elle doit ajouter sur la liste la situation des parents en conflit. C'est une des sources des douleurs des enfants. En plus de ça, il y a la justice. Je l'ai noté. La justice qui ne fait pas toujours son travail. Et Madame Maureen me demande pourquoi
Ça persiste.
Ça persiste.
On a les lois.
Oui, on a les lois, ça persiste parce que les lois camerounaises sont, je vais dire quoi, elles sont apparentes. En fait, la justice camerounaise est agonisante. Je le dirai, je le répéterai. La justice camerounaise est agonisante parce que elle ne joue pas son rôle. Si les auteurs de cette maltraitance, de cette torture étaient punis conformément à la loi, ça ne se passerait pas comme ça. Si la justice faisait son travail tel que prévu, notamment en rendant des décisions dans l'intérêt des enfants. Je veux parler des enfants dont les parents sont en conflit. Nous avons dans les cas dans lesquels parfois le père vous dit carrément que j'ai donné de l'argent au tribunal pour qu'on me confie la garde des enfants. Ce n'est pas normal. La loi dit que on confie la garde des enfants aux parents qui est le plus disponible. Or, nous avons des parents qui sont des hommes d'affaires. Ils vont en Chine le lundi, ils se retrouvent au Canada le vendredi, ainsi de suite. Mais on leur donne la garde des enfants. Je vous ai parlé de ce cas qui me déchire le cœur. Une maman qui a 5 enfants et elle est privée des 5 enfants. Parmi lesquels un qui est autiste, dont le comportement n'est compris par personne d'autre que la mère qui a fait une formation spécialisée. À quoi la juge a pensé pour rendre une telle décision? Cette femme est aux abois. Tout ça parce que la justice est malade. La justice est agonisante dans notre pays.
Ça veut dire que, can you give me some cases of that has gone to court but has not had fair judgments?
What I'm telling you is so recent.
I'm talking about the child abuse case, for example. Or have maybe perpetrators punished? Have we had that?
Perpetrators
punished for the crime on the child.
For the crime, yes, il y a quelques cas, mais je dis que régulièrement, les choses se passent comme elles se passent. C'est-à-dire que si ce n'est pas l'argent qui intervient, c'est les coups de fil, c'est telle autorité qui appelle, et la justice tombe sous le coup des maltraiteurs d'enfants.
All right. Madame Etonde, I want to ask, what are the signs that neighbors, parce que if the neighbors don't denounce, if you are living close to home, you hear a child crying every day, what should the neighbor do? What should people out there do? What should society do to end child abuse?
Oui, je
parce
pense
que vous êtes dans l'association, vous marchez, qu'est-ce que vous faites?
Il y a aussi vraiment ce problème de dénonciation. Oui, le problème de dénonciation est important. Quand les voisins entendent, ils voient la maltraitance. Parfois, on se dit que ce n'est pas notre problème. Certains même ne pensent pas que ce soit la maltraitance. On pense que c'est l'éducation. Parce qu'il faut voir le chemin qu'il y a entre l'éducation et la maltraitance. Dans certaines cultures aussi, on pense que pour qu'on éduque l'enfant, pour qu'il comprenne ce qu'on dit, on doit le taper. Or, beaucoup d'enfants ne comprennent même pas pourquoi on les tape. Ils ne comprennent même pas la faute qu'ils ont commise. Donc, si on a des voisins qui ne savent même pas qu'il faut dénoncer, ou alors qui ont peur des représailles, parce que parfois on peut aller dénoncer, le parent se retrouve au commissariat et peut-être même en prison. Après, ça revient sur eux. Oui, donc les gens ont peur de ça.
Mais on doit le dire autrement. Il faut dénoncer pour sauver des vies.
Oui, absolument. Il faut dénoncer. J'ai déjà apprécié ce que certains voisins ont fait, qui sont allés voir la mère de la sœur de cet enfant. Ils ont remarqué que l'enfant est régulièrement maltraité. Parfois, c'est une autre démarche aussi. On peut aller voir le chef du quartier pour lui dire que voilà, il y a un problème à tel ou tel endroit. On peut même partir aux affaires sociales. Il y a maintenant le téléphone, le numéro vert, le 116, qu'on peut appeler. Le plus courageux peut porter plainte à ses parents. Il faut voir que la fille de celle qui maltraite, elle a justifié tout ce que sa mère a fait. Or, les gens ont aussi peur de ça. Je vais aller dénoncer. Après, la personne va venir dire que c'est moi la menteuse et tout ça. Ça va me retomber dessus. Parfois, je peux avoir le courage d'aller dénoncer. Les voisins, même qui savent que ça se passe, on vient les interroger. Ils ne sont plus capables de dire qu'il y a eu effectivement un problème.
Quelle est la solution? La
solution, c'est qu'il faut dénoncer. C'est-à-dire qu'il ne faut pas avoir peur de ce qu'on va dire parce qu'on va sauver un enfant. Parce que si tout ce monde-là avait dénoncé, l'enfant n'aurait pas, Dieu merci, elle n'est pas morte. Elle n'aurait pas subi ce qu'elle a subi. Et puis, celui qui fait ce genre d'abus, quand il sent qu'on a mis l'œil sur lui, quand il se sent surveillé et quand il sait qu'on va le dénoncer, ça peut être un élément de dissuasion.
Okay.
Non, je voudrais ajouter quelque chose. La dénonciation est importante, mais il faut noter que le silence peut être coupable. Le fait de voir et ne pas dénoncer peut vous amener aussi en prison au même titre que celui qui a exercé la violence. À ce niveau, c'est la responsabilité de la justice de ramasser tous ceux qui sont autour de ce que cet enfant a l'habitude de faire. Malheureusement, on va se limiter à faire un bon reportage et puis à garder la femme en prison. On espère qu'elle sera jugée.
All right, Francisca, now how do you raise children without violence?
Okay, I think...
because does it mean that because you have a stubborn child, you have to change the child? Is that the solution?
No.
How do you raise a child without
We understand
violence?
That children are gifts from God. And when you love God, you will love the things that come from God. You need to, when you train a child in a way that they should grow and fear the Lord, they will not depart from those
because
words.
Because in this case, the woman said the child is too stubborn, the child is stubborn.
There is a way,
and
I always say that,
they'll say the child is stubborn.
I always say that education plays a fundamental role in the life and development of a child. There is no way you will not educate your child, and if that child is that one that want to get educated, they will get it from somewhere else. But it is painful to know that there are free platforms where we can get lessons, sessions of counseling on how to educate our children. But we still neglect such until the worst comes to the worst. You need to be loving to your child. You need to bring them to an understanding that you are not doing that just for you. You are doing it for them, because if they get into trouble tomorrow, they will probably go to prison. Children also need more than physical needs, because sometimes we, the parents, we think that it is when we provide everything for the child that you have given them the best, and then you can just go and do whatsoever thing you want to do and come back and say, but I provided everything. There are these children that you need to interact with them. Maureen, call them, sit them down, ask them questions. How was your day? How is your teacher? Do you like that school? Do you like this master? How do you interact with your friends? Who is this friend? Do you love them? Because there are some friends that come to your children and you're just being so mad because of physical looks. But there is something about that friend that your child is benefiting. So if you don't get close to that child for him to express himself without fear, you will never know. So you need to train that child to be able to have free communication with you, the parent, without fear, as I'm saying. And you also need to impose on the child that it is very, very important to get and report back to you if anything happens to them.
All right.
If anybody touches their private parts, if anybody says hurting words to them, if anybody threatens them in the society or even at school, they should come back to you, the parents, and report.
But now in this case, it's the parent that is inflicting torture on the child. So where does the child run to?
This is because, Maureen, if you want to look at it, it is not a biological parent,
but it's a half
child.
sister.
It is the half sister. Maureen, there is this love. Let me tell you something. When we talk about blended families, I get sometimes emotional about, because blended families have always been a problem family. You understand?
And this seems to be a polygamous home.
This is a polygamous home. I was coming to that. I was not even going to ask if it was a polygamous home. There are situations you will find in the society and you'll be able to detect if it's a polygamous home or it was. There is this love that flows from the heart to a sister. Let me tell you, Maureen, like they always say, in a family, no matter the grudges or how much a misunderstanding surfaces, there will always be an understanding at the end, so far as it is family. And no matter how long. But in this case, when you look at this woman, why did she first of all keep the chains? Why did she have that idea? Yes, it's not like, like if you want to look at it, sometimes she have even planned to kill this child and it did not work, and then she thinks that she can do it the other way.
Okay, I want to say something. How do you distinguish, Reverend, between discipline and abuse?
Okay, Maureen, thanks.
Because maybe she was like, I'm trying to discipline the child, right?
Yes.
Because for her, maybe it's a form of discipline. Because that's what a lot of children are going through. Reverend.
Please, the first thing about us as parents, before you discipline a child, no matter how angry you are, you need to calm down.
Yeah.
And you need to talk to the child. I like the way my father brought us up. Before he will give you a beating, he will tell you that, he will ask you, do you know why I want to beat you?
Okay.
Yes or no, you will answer. And then he will say, I will give you 10 lashes, I will give you 20, I will give you 5. At least that understanding, you know that they are not beating you for nothing. Yes. They are beating you because you have done something. But imagine, like Metro said, you have a problem, you have a conflict with your spouse, and then you just transfer the aggression on your child. You become ballocked and you slap and you hit and you smash. That one is no longer discipline. That one is abuse. So you must reflect and ask yourself why you are beating that child, and talk to the child that you have done this several times and now I want to discipline you because of the things you have been doing. And discipline must not only take the form of beating. You can put the child down and advise the child and talk to the child. If possible, you can also give rewards to the siblings and don't give to that one, so that he or she should understand that what you are doing is wrong. When we were younger, when you do something wrong, my mother will give the ball to others to go and play and say, you will not play because of what you have done. You will cry, but it's painful. That way you have learned from the situation.
That's a punishment.
Yes, that's a punishment.
Child, because you have deprived him of something he loves so much.
And also, the next thing I want to plead is that if you are suffering, not because anger issues will push you to not punish a child but to abuse a child. Also, alcohol is one of the influencers that pushes parents to abuse children. When they have drunk and they are drunk, they just come, and that time is no longer beating. You must watch your alcohol. You must have self-control in every aspect of life. Because if you don't have self-control, when you accumulate a lot of stress, the pressure will fall on your children. One, your children are not your listening ear. Don't carry your frustrations and give your children to listen. Most men, when they are drunk, they put their children in a parlor. Listen to what I want to tell you. That's a form of abuse. The child is already the child has to sleep at that time. But you arrive at home at 10:30, 11. You get up, all the children with a lot of noise, and you start to talk to them, telling them about your frustration. They are not your friends. They are your children. Secondly, when you have an issue with your spouse, don't put it on your children. Na me adi suffer for the house. Na me adi do all thing. Una papa na do nothing. The children become guilt-ridden. That's emotional abuse. Because when you place that guilt on those children, you are already causing a distinction. You are telling them that no, your father is not like this, your mother is not like this. Thirdly, Maureen, your children should look at you as their place of succor and warmth, not a place where anytime they see you, they repel and run away from you. And because of constant shouting or pitting them against others, you know if you be like this one, you know if you be like that one, that's cheap comparison is not warranted. Once you start to pitch them against others, they feel that they are not full, they are not valuable, they are not enough, and that's another form. Another one which we have to mention is neglect. Many parents, you just litter them and then you dash them to your brothers in Yaoundé and Douala, and you are there eating soya in the kate and asking for extra pepper and onion. Then other people are taking care of your children. It's an abominable abomination. You should take care of the number of children that you will be able to cater for them. That's you give birth to the number of children you should cater for them. Don't give birth. God don't bless my belema, do her. You must go for family planning. Now God give pikin. And when you do like that, at the end of the day, Mama, let me land then you. At the end of the day, you discover that you distribute the children. When you distribute them, that calls in for what? Abuse. Yeah, mommy there for village. Useless woman. Le shrine the bone. Men I would look at them. Man. So you see that frustration from an aunt, from an uncle, falls on an innocent child because you have decided to unleash everything that God has placed in your womb in the name of egg. I'm not saying that to give birth is wrong, but we should do family planning to avoid some of these things. So to round up, Sister Maureen, there is a very glaring line, a distinct line between punishment and discipline. Let the child know why you are disciplining him or her, and if it is abuse, and once you realize that you have overexerted yourself, come back and apologize. Most parents think that they are too big to tell their children sorry. Apologize and say, well, Mama, I'm sorry. I was not supposed to hit you like this. I am angry, but it's over. You pamper them. If na your mother-in-law, call her say mother-in-law. If na you put na your mommy, name big mommy. Don't be angry. I'm sorry. You're already imparting ideals to that child so that the child will learn to apologize someday.
Right. Exactly. Thank you so much, Reverend. Now I want to ask Metro Chakunte, what should mothers do to break the silence? Because it's about mothers. Mothers can change the narrative, right?
Les femmes doivent savoir, pour mettre un terme à ce genre de choses, elles doivent savoir que elles ont le droit de vivre avec leur enfant. Ça veut dire que le père, le géniteur ne peut pas décider de prendre ton enfant pour aller l'installer ailleurs sans ton accord. Tu as le droit de t'opposer. Parce que dans le cas de cette affaire, la mère a fait son apparition pour dire qu'elle n'est pas folle. Au départ, on disait que sa mère est malade mentale.
Elle a fait une formation seulement pour les besoins de son fils.
Voilà. Et elle n'est pas avec son enfant, c'est le géniteur, c'est-à-dire le père qui décide de placer l'enfant ailleurs. Que les femmes sachent qu'elles ont le droit de vivre avec leur enfant. Et si le père force pour mettre ton enfant quelque part, tu as le droit de saisir les autorités pour dire « je veux vivre avec mon enfant ». Et il y a des parents, toujours des géniteurs, et parfois les femmes aussi, qui décident de prendre les enfants pour aller les mettre chez leur maman et elles-mêmes, elles sont en train de vivre ailleurs. Ou alors c'est les hommes qui le font, ils partent mettre chez l'Andjumba et ils sont en train de chercher d'autres victimes ailleurs. Ce n'est pas normal. Et je crois que pour mettre un terme à ce genre de choses, il y a la sensibilisation à faire. La sensibilisation telle que Madame en face fait, et la sensibilisation même par rapport à la punition. Ça veut dire que si à la fin de cette affaire, parce que cette femme est en prison, m'a-t-on dit, à la fin on la condamne, on publie la sanction, on communique pour que la population sache que celle qui avait maltraité l'enfant a été condamnée à 5 ans, à 10 ans d'emprisonnement. Et le service social a un travail crucial à faire. Le service social doit communiquer sur comment éduquer les enfants, communiquer sur comment traiter les enfants têtus. Il y a tout un système là-dessus. Voilà.
All right, Madame Eton, I want to come back to you. Est-ce que dans votre association, vous travaillez beaucoup avec les services sociaux et tout ça? What are you doing at that level? And what have you been doing? Qu'est-ce que vous avez fait?
Oui,
je travaille avec votre travail sur le terrain.
Oui, parce que je travaille en étroite collaboration, pas seulement avec les services sociaux, le ministère de la Santé, le MINPROF. Je suis point focal genre du MINPROF. Et dans le cadre de cette affaire, j'ai eu des informations venant de la délégation de la promotion, de l'arrondissement de la promotion de la femme et de la famille. C'est pour ça que je disais que le problème de cette famille est profond. Il y a un mal-être qui est profond. Il y a de graves problèmes de santé mentale. Celle même qui est en prison, elle a besoin d'aide parce que elle est dépassée par les événements. Une famille polygamique où le père s'est déchargé des responsabilités, où on dit que la mère se fait soigner, je ne sais pas, où elle a d'autres enfants, où on lui impose un enfant alors qu'elle-même, elle a ses charges. On ne sait pas ce qui s'est passé entre sa mère et la mère de cet enfant même. L'autre, la petite, qui malheureusement est battue tout le temps, parce que ce qu'on dit, c'est que comme elle sait qu'on la tapait beaucoup, elle ne pouvait plus rentrer à la maison. C'est pour ça qu'elle est restée en route, parce qu'elle sait que quand elle arrive à la maison, ça allait être très dur. Et la manière dont on l'a enchaînée là, ça montre le degré de frustration, l'accumulation de tellement de choses que la dame avait en elle. C'est-à-dire qu'elle avait la colère dans sa chair. Donc, à mon avis, on doit d'abord la soigner. La solution, c'est en prison. Bon, la justice, comme Maître Chakunte dit, ils font le travail. Mais moi, en tant que spécialiste en santé mentale, je pense que cette jeune fille a besoin d'aide.
Oui,
c'est-à-dire, c'est peut-être un appel à l'aide qu'elle faisait.
Ce n'est pas la société.
Elle a besoin. Qu'est-ce qu'elle a accumulé? Parce qu'apparemment, elle était
pouring it out on the child.
Oui, parce que ce qui m'est revenu selon la déléguée, oui. Quand on a demandé au père de reprendre l'enfant, il n'en voulait plus. Parce que lui, il a dit qu'il l'a envoyé chez sa sœur parce qu'il n'en pouvait plus. L'enfant a été placé dans un orphelinat. Ça montre que dans cette famille, vraiment, rien ne va. Maintenant, quand la dame va en prison, ses propres enfants seront aussi traumatisés. Qu'est-ce qu'ils vont devenir? Donc tout ça, ça nécessite qu'on les prenne en charge, qu'on s'asseye, qu'on écoute les uns et les autres. On va se rendre compte que peut-être qu'ils ne sont pas fondamentalement méchants, mais Ça démontre un appel à l'aide.
All right. Now, just quickly, what is the association doing to help such cases? Qu'est-ce que votre association fait pour aider les enfants dans des situations comme ça? Parce qu'on est en train de sortir avec toi.
Ça, c'est l'accompagnement. Je fais l'accompagnement psychosocial.
Okay.
Je voudrais rappeler à tout le monde que l'accompagnement psychosocial se fait par palier.
Okay.
Donc, il y a l'environnement, comme ils ont fait, les gens sont allés voir, on a dénoncé, et ainsi de suite. Après, on peut aller dans un service des affaires sociales. Ça, c'est le deuxième palier. On peut aller même à la chefferie, le deuxième, dénoncer, il y a tel problème. Le chef de famille peut prendre la situation en main. Après, on va dans les services sociaux, MINPROF, affaires sociales. Oui. Et le dernier palier, c'est les spécialistes. Moi, spécialisée dans la prise en charge psychosociale. Donc, j'apporte une aide psychologique et une aide sociale. Je vais dans l'environnement social, je cherche à connaître le fond du problème et je fais le rapport. Si des personnes ont un problème de maladie mentale, je réfère à un psychiatre. Et s'ils ont besoin d'une aide psychologique, je peux référer à un psychologue ou alors moi-même je prends en charge. Donc dans le cas d'espèce, je pense que si on me demande mon avis, c'est ce qu'il faut faire. Maintenant, s'il est établi que celle qui a fait ces maltraitances-là, elle a fait exprès, qu'elle est méchante et tout ça, là, la justice continue à faire son travail.
Merci beaucoup et merci pour tout ce que votre association fait pour les cas comme ça, for children that are undergoing torture, abuse, and just to make our audience know that you have an association that is defending the rights of children, right? I want to thank you so much. And we equally sampled the opinion of mothers out there on looking at the best punishment to give to a child. How do you punish a child? How do you show love to your children? And let's watch this story. We'll be right back just after the jingle.
We're being failed people. You know, you cannot understand how a mother will wrap a child like a rat and key the child up. So you can look at the background and see how devastating the society has been in character, in morality, and everything. Nobody cares. Today the truth is meant for lies, and lies is meant for the truth. The minds of the people are corrupt, and in fact, they are deterred with the societal rubbish that's going on. And therefore, even a mother who carried a child for 9 months, she's become so rubbishly corrupt that her mind lacks substance. What is the substance? Morality, love, kindness, goodness, mercy. She has nothing in it. The heart is empty. And doing a thing like, you know, tying a child up or destroying a child, or some are even killing their own babies. You know, some are throwing the babies on the street. Some are even leaving babies in a box, in a carton, for people to pick and care for them on their behalf, because they know where those babies are going. So if you are talking about the problem of society in child abuse, you talk about female abuse, because men are killing their wives as well. Men are really killing their wives. When you torture your wife in the house without anybody knowing, that's killing. So therefore, it's a societal problem. It's a real societal problem, and it needs serious education from people. That is where women stand now, women to women. We must have opportunities to have like workshops and, you know, other means of transpiring these women with information.
Welcome back. We are talking about a growing phenomenon of child abuse in Cameroon and beyond. And I have women here with me in the studio diagnosing the problem around child abuse in Cameroon, in our society, communities. Now, I want to ask Reverend, you have that feeling that in the neighborhoods you have the quarter heads and every other person trying to play a crucial role to end child abuse. Do you feel like they denounce your help in ending child abuse?
Truth be told, Maureen, some to an extent, and others may not play that firm, fervent role that we need them to. Because of the corruption that we have, many people are bound to think about money first. You want to come and visit me, where is my fowl, where is my goat? Before they even listen to a problem, they want something first. Metro is talking about a case here at Post Central that have gone even to the social service, nothing, to the Ministry of Social Affairs, nothing. That's to tell you how degrading and agonizing our system is. It can be very frustrating sometimes. Well, all is not lost. I think that there are still some good people out there. There are still some good quarter heads that will want to reach out, because after all, they are parents before becoming quarter heads. I don't think that anybody who has a sense of justice and a right sense of purpose and direction will see a case like that, as uncanny as it is, and then denounce it and then close their eyes to the fact that something awful like that is happening around his or her territory or periphery. So I think that there are still some quarter heads out there who are not only interested in bribery and corruption or in constructing, there are also those who want to work on this, because I think that if this case that we are working on, which is a case study, had gone to the quarter head early enough, it would not have gotten to this stage that that child was bundled as if she was she was firewood. You know, sometimes too they don't know. Sometimes neighbors are like, no, it's none of my business, let me not go and talk, and then they say I am a gossip.
They should be their business.
But now we are sensitizing and insisting that it should be their business. The quarter heads should know. The closest judicial system, the police, should be aware of such things and tendencies. This child had to spend 24 hours bundled up like that. And if it is something that they had reported earlier, it would not have gotten to that excruciating stage where she was crying, she could barely turn. So I want to crave the indulgence of all the stakeholders that we should open our eyes to these injustices, to this violence, especially when it comes to children. They did not bargain to come to this world, and because they are here, we have to show them all the love, the care, and understanding, no matter how difficult they are. There are agencies, juvenile training centers for those who have gone out of hand, that we can still bring them back and show them love, that all is not lost, instead of just forgetting about them and saying that no, you don't too much, I no go fit again.
Now I want to ask Metro Egbe, you're welcome to the program. You're just coming in, giving Madam Etonda has given you a way to come in. Now when you look at society, we're talking about child abuse. Do you think that the structures put in place by government are doing sufficiently their job to end child abuse, or give people that confidence to run towards them when they see such cases, when they meet people or children suffering from abuses?
Well, as far as child abuse is concerned, each country has its own structures which it has already put in place. Cameroon has divided the child abuse into different domains. We have those in charge of education, sexual abuse, physical. It depends on the kind of abuse, being that there are many different types of abuses.
Yeah, we've talked about the different types of abuse.
So the idea of the structure, Cameroon has sufficiently put in place different types of ministerial domains. And the structures
are there.
They are there, and
they
are efficient. It is just that, funny enough, to some degree, corporal punishment is accepted in Cameroon. If you go through our laws, the first thing they'll tell is that corporal punishment is accepted. So it is to some extent ignored that corporal punishment and torture is not the same thing. Torture comes with bringing out a dehumanizing treatment on someone, humiliating them and all of that. And that's what most people mistake for corporal punishment. So abuse and corporal punishment don't go the same way.
All right. Francisca, now how can governments and other health services or other structures in child abuse, how should they come in? Because the blame is on society. Do we think the blame is on government? How can government reinforce its measures so that such actions or such abuse, torture should not continue on children? And I believe that if you go to schools today, you get to teachers. Teachers are the ones that those children confine a lot in them. Please, madam, at home, my father does this to me, or my parents, or I mean, what do you think can be done in that light?
Okay, I already said that education, plays a fundamental role in the life of a child and in the development of a child. in as well as government is also trying to lay emphasis on this child abuse matter. I think that, like in schools, we already have some series of courses or subjects that children do follow, and they have always been there. I was thinking that in as much as this phenomenon is becoming so common, there should be a subject, like in school, from primary to secondary, and why not to universities, that is going to be in line with this, that these children should study. Maybe it can just be named child abuse. Or maybe they should, maybe in a course of producers of books, editors, maybe they can come up with a book that is just labeled child abuse, and they tell us, they instruct us on what to do. And
yes, we have child abuse, but is it detailed?
That is the
problem.
Is
where the problem is.
That is what I'm saying.
Telling them, giving them the red flags every day, and building confidence in the children to actually denounce a child abuse from the home, and even tell the teachers right in school.
Maureen, that is what I'm saying, because I've never heard my child come back and tell me they learned about child abuse in school. You know, we would rather always navigate parenting, trying to give them what we have learned, maybe from parenting, from social media, or from guiding, from our guidance, and from mentors and people that are still out there to help us give out that best about child abuse to our children.
All right. Thank you so much. I want to conclude there with Maître Chakouté before coming to Reverend. Now, Maître, il y a les lois. Est-ce que, to what extent does a law punish child abuse? Can somebody be given a life imprisonment? Est-ce que le Cameroun a déjà condamné un parent qui a abusé un enfant, torturé ou tapé? Parce qu'on pense que s'il y a un cas où la loi punit, d'autres parents vont se redresser. Maître.
Honnêtement, je ne connais pas un dossier dans lequel un abuseur, un parent a été condamné à la peine de mort. Pourtant, la torture, comme ce que nous avons vu, en fait, c'est un traitement dégradant. Techniquement, ce n'est pas la torture. Peut être condamné à la peine de mort si ce comportement, ce que nous avons vu, conduit jusqu'à la mort de la victime. La personne peut être condamnée à mort, mais dans ma tête, je ne connais pas un cas pareil. Tout ça peut-être à cause du système judiciaire qui est malade. Oui, je dois insister là-dessus. Et je voudrais insister davantage parce que nous parlons des enfants.
Oui.
Les enfants au Cameroun sont les pupilles de l'État. Ça veut dire qu'ils appartiennent à l'État. Le fait de donner naissance ne fait pas de l'enfant un objet que nous avons acheté. L'État a l'œil sur ce que tu fais de ton enfant. Et c'est pour ça que si les choses fonctionnaient normalement, un parent qui maltraite son enfant, c'est-à-dire que ce que Merci a eu, même si c'est sa mère, l'État a le droit de lui retirer l'enfant pour le garder ailleurs. C'est ce qui se passe ailleurs. Malheureusement, notre pays fonctionne comme il fonctionne, mais nous croyons que ça va changer. Et je voudrais dire que le rôle du ministère des Affaires sociales est capital. Les deux ministères, Affaires sociales et promotion de la femme et de la famille, ces deux ministères sensibles qui sont en contact avec la souche la plus faible de la population, mais qui curieusement a un budget, je ne sais pas, de misère, alors qu'ils sont appelés à aider les pauvres. Je reviens sur le cas de cette femme malade mentale qui séjourne à la poste centrale de Douala depuis plus d'1 an. Douala ici à la poste centrale avec 2 enfants. L'aîné a 7 ans et la deuxième a 2 ans. J'ai saisi le ministère des Affaires sociales à Douala qui a essayé de faire quelque chose. Malheureusement, ça n'a peut-être pas donné parce qu'on a essayé de la référer à sa famille. Elle est encore là. Je suis allée jusqu'à Yaoundé, j'ai saisi le ministère des Affaires sociales. On m'a fait des promesses contre toute attente, elle y est encore. Qu'est-ce que ces enfants vont dire demain? Leur mère est malade mentale. Et l'État du Cameroun est où? Est-ce qu'elles méritent la rue parce qu'elles sont nées d'une maman qui est devenue toc-toc? Elle est là avec ses enfants. Elle dort sous les tentes, elle dort. c'est terrible, je ne peux pas décrire.
Okay.
Qu'est-ce qu'ils ont fait, ces enfants?
All right.
Et ce qui est embêtant, il faut préciser, je dis, j'apprécie le Cameroun, vous comprenez, parce que nous avons...
It's not like you hate your country, because people think that because you're saying you don't like your country. Let's be precise about it.
C'est mon pays. C'est mon pays. I love my country.
Just continue in English, don't continue in
I love my country because I have the opportunity to stay in the United States. But I came back for a time like this because I know that I am an instrument that God can use.
Yeah.
That means I love my country. And the particular thing in our country is that Cameroon is always a way to adopt law for human being. We have so many laws coming from the United Nations, but they are not applying it in our country. Where are we going? Where are we going with all those laws? It's terrible.
All right.
Thank you.
I think we've come to the end, but I want us, before we go, we're going to look at our cameras. We have 30 seconds each. We are talking to a woman out there. We're giving her advice, but we're talking about child abuse. How do we end child abuse? So you're talking to a woman, you're talking to government, you're talking to civil society, you're talking to associations. I don't know who you're talking to. Now I'm going to start with Francisca. You're looking at your camera that
Maureen,
you're talking.
You meant business with me today. Okay, I want to talk to a mother that is listening to me. Please, mothers, it is high time you get a conversation with your child. It is high time you put things in place. Do not allow your child to get education from some other people. Do not allow your child to feel unwanted. Do not allow your child to feel unloved. Don't body shame your child. Give a listening ear to your child. There are some things that if communication is not flowing between you and your child, you will never get parenting done. You will navigate that motherhood, your career life and wifehood, and then you will fail being a good mother or a role model to your own child. And as much as you are being a good mother to your child, please help your neighbor who is going through, help a child of a neighbor that is going through child abuse. Do not stay silent. Walk out there and speak out so that these children will not suffer what they did not know anything of, and so that these children too will feel love. They will also feel like people in the society.
Thank you so much. Reverend, you're looking at your camera the other way. 30 seconds.
Dear mother, dear wives, everyone, we need to create a healthy environment for our children. And this healthy environment will only come when we laugh with them, we play with them, we listen to them. When they are in pains, when they have been pressured by friends and peers out there, we should be that warmth, we should be that succor where they run to, that protective tower to cover them when they are facing any kind of stress or conflict. We should not just end there, but we should strive to ensure that we seek the necessary education, and we should have a clear-cut distinction between disciplinary measures and disciplinary measures and abuse, because sometimes a hand that you give on a child, that child will collapse and die, and you will be suffering from what they call in law filicide, which is the killing of a child by the parents. Sometimes we do not hate our parents, our children, and we do not want to deliberately cause filicide on them, but unfortunately anger can lead us to a lot. So take deep breaths before you discipline a child. Rethink your stance and your stand. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Barrister Egbe, I'm looking at that way. 30 seconds, please.
Okay, with respect to child abuse, I want to look at it as torture. I would like to talk not just to the mothers because of the case study we had. I want to talk to parents in general, guardians. The way Africa is structured, most times kids grow with family members who are not necessarily the biological parents. Now we have beautiful decrees 2004, we have nice laws 1997, but these laws will not help you when you end your child's life. Yes, you have to take upon yourself as a parent to be patient and to be mindful of the fact that you can be punished. If anything goes wrong with that child, if the child dies, it's life imprisonment. if the child has any permanent handicap or suffers a loss of any organ, you have 10 to 20 years imprisonment. So whether it's your child or it's not your child, that's according to our Cameroon Penal Code. So whether it's your child or not, you have to be very, very patient.
Thank you so much, Maître Chakunte. You're looking at, we're concluding with you.
D'accord, merci. Je dois dire aux mamans et à toute personne qui suit cette émission, parce que la responsabilité de sécuriser les enfants incombe à chaque personne. Alors, je vais commencer par dire qu'accoucher, donner naissance est une responsabilité. Responsabilité devant Dieu, le Créateur, qui donne les enfants. Responsabilité devant les hommes. Alors, c'est pour cela que quand nous avons l'habitude de dire quand on a accouché, on doit assumer. Ça veut dire que quel que soit ce qui se passe dans ta vie, ta descendance doit être à côté de toi. Et si jamais quelqu'un a abusé de toi, a arraché ton enfant pour le donner quelque part, viens nous voir. Nous allons nous déchirer ensemble pour récupérer l'enfant ou alors pour faire ce qui est possible. Et si jamais l'enfant n'est pas le tien, souviens-toi au moins de ce que c'est